This is James Mathers for the Digital Cinema Society at Cine Expo 2021. I'm here with my friend Richard Amadril from Luminys. Richard, it's been a while since we've been to one of these trade shows. This one is a little pared down because of the pandemic. And how has the pandemic affected Luminys?
Like everyone else, it's been a scary and unprecedented time. We got through it by, I would say, just trudging forward. One of the things that we figured out early with the pandemic was our broad spectrum xenon lights had UV, and UV has been used for years to great effectiveness against virus and bacteria. So that after some trials and tribulations with our traditional lightning strikes and SoftSUN bulbs, trying to make those work, we sort of pivoted to a whole new idea, and that's what we're here today focusing on, showing the show, the Luminaire. And what that guy does is it brings dirty air in, it goes through a UV reactor, completely surrounded by the light, deactivates, it actually deactivates the genetic material in virus and bacteria, so it cannot reproduce, and then clean air comes out the top.
And we're using one in this room right here so we can go maskless.
Yeah.
That's why we're not down on the show floor where everybody has to wear a mask, right?
Exactly. But we have a few of them in our booth, so around our booth is pretty safe. But obviously the area is huge.
Yeah.
So that affects how much, because of course to clean the air you got to get it into the machine. Mm-hmm. But no, you're exactly right. The idea is that it becomes an extra layer of defense for those times that you can't wear a mask. One of the first instances for set was, we were on a show and the whole crew was all protected and suited up, and then of course the actor had to take their mask off to perform. Then the actor got COVID, and the movie shut down. And then it all hit home for us as a business because everyone went home and all the lights were rigged and everything just stopped. And that's what our first uses of the Luminaire, the first ones that we made, that's kind of what we were doing. We were creating sort of an airstream, say, between us and the crew, because here we are, unprotected, but the crew can stay safe. So that was kind of how we first did it. And we talked to sort of air experts and stuff like that and asked them how best to do it. What should we do? Because at first we were thinking, we'll hang these everywhere and suck up virus or do something like that. They told us there's not much chance of that being effective because you'll never be in the right spot at the right time, kind of thing. The best thing to do is just introduce more clean air and dilute the viral load. So that's the basic idea behind the Luminaire. Is it's something you can bring somewhere remotely and mobily, plug it in, and introduce clean air.
So it's sort of like an air conditioner or a heating system. It brings the air in, and then you pipe it through the light?
Yep. So we surround in the UV reactor. That means that there's lamps all around because UV is just light. So light, as we all know, is very easy to block, and even particles can hide behind other particles and not be deactivated. So that's why you want a full circle of light. All the air goes through there and then out the top. One of the reasons we can stay so quiet is we're not hitting a filter, right? So air hitting a filter becomes very loud. What we have is a simple MERV 3 filter on the front. That filter, there's no efficacy to that filter, right? You can take that one out, put a glove on, take it out, wash it in a sink, put it back. That's just to keep dust off the lamps. Because if the lamps get too dusty, then they won't be as optically effective. Right, so basically it's just an airstream that travels up and around again and out the top. And the reason we do those curves is to make light traps, because if the UV came around and hit the fan, it'll kill the fan. If the UV hits any of the wiring, it'll eat all of that stuff. We actually do UV aging jobs with our xenon bulbs, where we do exactly what it sounds like. You age, paint, age other textiles and stuff like that, and just see how long they'll last before the color goes away or what it might be.
Like leaving it out in the sun for 10 years.
Exactly. Exactly.
So these are UV is not safe for human contact, so
No.
this is all contained within the machine.
Exactly. Yeah, it's, and that's kind of where UV gets. There was a lot of stuff coming out at the beginning of the pandemic, little wands and things like that. And the thing we try to always say is that if it's strong enough to kill the virus, it's likely strong enough to hurt you. If it's not effective, then it's not strong enough to kill the virus either. So at that point, it's just show. But that was the thing with a lot of those wands, is people think like, I'll take this wand and I'll clean my phone. But that wand has to be on your phone for 10 minutes to kill the virus. If that wand was on your skin for 10 minutes, you're going to have a burn.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not really something you want to play around with in those ways. That's why we really focused on containing the light and getting the real benefit, which was cleaning the air and cleaning it in as quiet a possible way.
So that's a pandemic pivot, we'll call it.
A pandemic pivot.
How about some of your other products?
Our other products, like our SoftSUNs,
Still going strong?
Still going strong. What we find is that what's been funny since, it used to be people would ask about the 100K, and then they'd end up getting the 50K, right? Because it's too much power. Now, everyone wants the 200K. And I think we all laugh and go, why is it like that? And I go, it's because we almost died a year ago. And everybody's like, well, if I'm going to get the big light, I might as well just get the biggest light and not worry about what I'm missing out on. And no, I mean, literally, that's our 200K in town is so busy that it's even this weekend, it's working tonight, getting dropped off Saturday, getting picked up again Monday. And in the UK and in South Africa and all those places, the SoftSUN goes gangbusters because Hollywood is here for a reason, because the stages used to be open on top and the sun would come in. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing. We're working on Luminaires and we're working on 200Ks and lightning and all that stuff.
Yeah, lightning strikes.
Yeah.
That's been one of your famous products.
Yeah, and what we found is that as always with the world, it sort of moves in two directions at the same time. Just as much as more LEDs are smaller and battery powered and fit more places. I mean, there's amazing things down there for Astera and other things like that. We see that also people still want the big stuff, So it's not like we're not going to pivot away from the classic traditional stuff that sort of makes us, who we are and delivers something very unique for cinematographers and filmmakers.
Well, when we shoot high speed, we need a lot of power. And you made some small units that actually are totally flicker-free and can give a lot of poop for high-speed cinematography.
Exactly. Our 1,200-watt tabletop and our 1,500-watt sun source, we call it, which is a lensed LED. That one is more to throw light. We use that for jet engine testing, for things like that. We'll probably do a thing coming soon where we'll light the rocket for NASA in Madison Square Garden. They have a huge dome project coming where you'll go, I think it unveils in 2023. It'll be a 180-degree screen in both directions. So they want to light the rocket. I guess there's 3 more International Space Station launches, and they want to light the rocket as it takes the 12-hour, 1-mile trip from the hangar to the launch pad. And so, of course, just as you said, you need 250 feet of exposed light, and they told the filmmakers who were shooting, a camera that, sees 180 degrees, all the light you need, just don't bring any generators or anything like that. So I think, from that job, we'll know very well how long we could run our 1,500-watt LED on battery and stuff like that, because I'm sure
plug it into a household circuit.
But yeah, and just don't, you can plug it into a household circuit, but this will all be, imagine that we'll have lights on the crawler, on the rocket itself, and then we have another new exciting technology that is that we'll do some demos for Luxor actually next week and stuff like that. And that one is what they call laser-driven phosphor searchlight. So if you imagine an LED now is a blue diode behind yellow phosphor, makes white light. This, instead of a diode, is a laser that excites phosphor and creates a near parallel beam. And the 1800 watt unit we have now, the measurements we did the other night, are actually exceeding a 7K xenon searchlight, which is the traditional technology and actually a sister technology to SoftSUN. That's usually how we would do, say, rockets and bullets and stuff like that. So to be able to go from 7,000 watts on a bulb that only lasts 1,000 hours to another able to work off house power and deliver the same beam.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing stuff. We're really excited to sort of show it to the Luxor people, because for them, their beam, which is usually 38 7K
at the hotel in
at the
Las
hotel,
Vegas. Yeah,
the
okay.
big huge sky beam, it's usually 38 7K xenons.
Wow.
They're down to about 15 units because
They burnt out.
They burnt out, and no one makes that stuff anymore.
Wow.
And it's super duper dangerous. Super duper, as a matter of fact. You have to wear a lead suit to change the bulbs, because they can explode and they can do all this other crazy stuff. So yeah, and what happens to us is, as that technology is aged out, we get more and more calls from the industry high-speed side and the scientific high-speed side of guys who are doing things in vacuum tubes or doing things where they need tons of light right away, and we can't find the parts. We can't find the old xenon stuff anymore. So we're always sort of we've been chasing that one for maybe 6 years now, and we're really excited that it's it's finally here in a place to show it. I was going to bring it here, but it's a little too bright and a little too scary to have indoor. We wanted to be indoors with the air cleaning units, and then we thought, do I bring this huge searchlight? I can plug it in. I can plug it in here, but it's a little too. You're talking about 120,000 lux at 150 feet. So it's a little more. It's just a little too bright for inside.
Well, thank you for bringing the Luminaire and keeping the air clean and making us all safe. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.